Welcome to the the December Trades Licensing Board meeting. This meeting is being recorded. At this time, I'll take the roll. Mr. Armstrong, Mr. Reeves, Mr. Panitsky,
Here.
Mr. Newber,
Here.
Mr. Dietrich,
I'm here.
Mr. Ziwi, Mr. Sessler, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Hollern,
Here.
Mr. Collins,
Here.
Mr. Yatsko.
Here.
Okay, roll has been taken. We do indeed have a quorum. I'm going to move into the public comment section of this meeting. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Being that there's none, the public comment section is closed. There is no secretary report for December's meeting. There is also no correspondence. There is no action to be taken under old business. So we'll immediately move into new business. And I believe that there's only one item on the agenda, if that's correct, is a one-time license for plumbing. Is that correct, Christy?
No, there's actually two. I just sent the agenda to you. There's a one-time, and then there is a journeyman plumbing applicant as well.
Okay. Okay, well, let's do the applicant first. Let me, if you bear with me for 1 second so I can open this. Oh, Aaron Teed. Okay, I do indeed have that. Okay. Christy, would you put up the applicant's sheets, please?
Unfortunately, I will not be able to share my screen because I'm remote and it's actually on my screen at work in the building, not on my laptop.
Let me see if I can do it.
Okay.
Give me just a moment. There it is. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. No, it appears as though I can't share my screen. Okay, well, I'll read through what's on this application. I know that this is kind of a different way we're doing the meeting because of the weather. If anyone has it open, you can follow along. The applicant's name is Aaron Teed. On his cover sheet, he was an apprentice from 2000 to 2004. And then from 2004 to current, he's held a journeyman's license, number 621. It looks like at one time he worked for a master. It says he worked for Shoemaker Electric.
Hey guys, I don't think that's definitely not my application. I just wanted to share that with you.
Who said that?
One-time applicant.
Oh, yeah, this is Aaron Teed.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. I thought you were working through mine.
No. Christy, this is an electrical.
He's electrical?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he's electrical.
Okay.
It's been crazy, TJ. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. No problem. So correction on this application, it is an electrical. And again, he worked as an apprentice from 2000 to 2004. and a journeyman from 2004 to current. He did mention at this time he has not been working for a master electrician. Christie, did he indicate how long? Does anyone know how long he worked as a journeyman for a master electrician?
He said that the master electrician that worked for them just recently retired, but he did not mention when he retired. So that's why he has a previous employer's sign off on his application. They tried to get a hold of the prior master, but they were unable. They said he moved out of town.
Okay. It shows here in his resume that he worked for Synergy Electric and then Clark Electric from 2011 to 2015, and then Shoemaker Electric to current. So my way of looking at this is, since we couldn't get a hold of the master electrician, can you ask this? This is what I propose. Ask him for his W-2s for like the past 6 years, so we know that he was indeed working for that company.
For the one that he signed off on the application?
Just to prove that, we just need to see that he has indeed been working for a master electrician for the, the amount of time that he needs to qualify.
Okay.
Because like you said, they didn't indicate when that electrician retired. It could have been 10 years ago. So if he could provide to us his W-2s showing that he was in fact employed with the right amount of time under a master, then I think that would be acceptable. Does anyone on the board have any comments about it?
Yeah, this is Clifton Collins.
Yes.
That's a part of the application anyway, isn't it? The W-2, you supposed to include that?
I think the code office asked for it, but I'm not seeing it with his application.
Okay. So the application is incomplete. Anyway,
That would be a question for Christie.
We only ask for W-2s if they do not have, if there's some issue with proof of employment, or if their master refuses to sign off on the application. We ask for W-2s to show that they were working for the appropriate amount of time.
Isn't that kind of what happened here, though, that the master electrician didn't sign his verifier?
Yes, but the verifier, he was employed by the verifier previously.
Oh,
So I'm looking at the verifier's form. It said the verifier says that the candidate worked under his supervision from the year 2000 to 2006, and that was for Bay Harbor Electric. If you look on the resume, it says he worked from Bay Harbor Electric from 2000 to 2004.
which he would have been an apprentice.
Right. He has no, 2005 and 2006 is actually missing from his resume. Wherever he was
Could that
working.
be
then, I
once
don't know.
I'm sorry, could that be once they changed over to a claim? Maybe that's where the discrepancy is.
Well, it
And he
says
did
he
not put
worked
that-
from Synergy Electric from 2007 to 2011. He's got nothing in there for 2005 and 2006. Unless he was working off the books or something like that. And he doesn't have it listed on his resume.
Okay. His education does say 2000 to 2004 Bay Harbor. Okay. So I will get that information from him as far as his W-2s, and I will also try to find out when that master electrician actually retired, when the last time he was under his supervision.
Well, I think the board should table this application until he provides the appropriate material. I'll make that motion.
I'll
I'll
second
second
that.
that motion.
I think Mr. Collins seconded it.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any question on the motion? Any question on the motion? Being that there's none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? The application is therefore tabled until next month's meeting or when he provides the required information. Okay. Now we're going to move on to what appears to be a one-time license for a project. Okay, this applicant's name is Edward Foran. I hope I said that right.
Yes, sir.
He is in Longwood, Florida.
Yes.
He's applying for a one-time license for a project at the Renaissance Center. Mr. Foran, why don't you go ahead and just give us an explanation of what the project is that you're applying for here?
Sure. Actually, John would be better suited. My partner, he estimated the project, so we can provide you with a better level of detail. John?
How you doing, guys? So basically, they're going to gut the existing hotel, Renaissance Hotel, there in Erie, and bring it right back to life. Completely new hotel. So everything in it goes. That includes all the plumbing risers, all the equipment, and then everything's being put back. New risers, new equipment, new fixtures.
Okay, so it's a total renovation of the building, in other words.
That's correct.
So who would be performing that work? Is it Mr. Foran himself, or how is that, how do you plan on doing that?
So our model, we do a lot of hospitalities, just our main market that we're in. So we do, work all over the country, and we have to, zero in and focus on the requirements of those jurisdictions and, state stuff. And in a case like this, it's almost 100% we collaborate with local labor, especially if, journeyman and apprentice ratios, are needed. And as for the master, we'd have to, first be officially awarded the project, but we'd source someone and myself would be in and out of the project. I wouldn't be there consistently, but someone will be there, a master, journeyman, and apprentices.
So I guess what I'm asking is, you're going to bring in your own workforce, correct?
It'll be a joint workforce, and we'll bring in our managers. We'll bring in some W-2s, and we will try to source and hire locally.
Okay, I guess my question is this. The people who are installing the work, everyone on the job has to have a license. So I think what you're asking for here is reciprocity, because the one-time license, the way that it's been done, is not for, it's for someone to come in and say, install a panel box for a cell tower. It's for someone to come in and do that. What I it, you're asking for a master's license and a license for people that you're going to bring in here. Is that correct?
Well, for the managers mainly. So we would manage the project. We would use journeyman there, just like any other contractor that came into town and needed to, you know, adhere to whatever the rules are. They would hire local journeymen, local apprentices, and whatever the case was.
Okay. And you have a plan. How did you plan on doing that?
Well, first, I would like to be officially awarded the project, you know, before we dive
Understood.
into that. So John is on the front end in pre-construction that he just gave you the breakdown. Once the project is officially awarded to us, I would then take it into operations and then we would, you know, create our structure. We'd have to do some research. We'd be up there, you know, probably see if we can get a phone call into the local inspector, introducing ourselves, figuring out what ticks, you know, right with them. And then as far as the rest of the research, that'd be just around what was expected of us from a, you know, licensing standpoint, you know, for the journeyman and the apprentices. Like what you guys require, you know, 3-to-1 or 5-to-1, it's different in a lot of different places. What constitutes, so there's some homework before we get there. We work in a lot of different places. Pennsylvania is a little bit special because they don't have a state license and it's a lot of, you know, little jurisdictions and sometimes they tweak the rules a little bit. So we'd have to understand what you guys are doing. Then we'd present the plan, you know, internally and move from there.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have more questions? No one? I'm just, like I said a few minutes ago, I'm not, a one-time license is not designed for something this scope of work. It's designed for a small project. So I kind of have my doubts that everyone on the job, you would be able to man it with people who actually have licenses that are in this jurisdiction. Short of, say, you know, running ads months and months and months in advance. I don't know when this project is going to take place or whatever. But it's, I just,
Yeah, your angst over it. And it's not like the first time we've had to deal with the kind of situation. It is our, right, our space. And so we're used to dealing with different, you know, concerns and stuff like that. I mean, what may make the board comfortable, and you'll have to inevitably decide if that does make you comfortable, is, you know, after we get through the process here, we would present to you, you know, we have no problem putting the list of people we intend to work on the project and who has whatever their journeyman license number is and the apprentice and, you know, all that process begins a little bit later. And I'm not sure if the one-time licenses, I didn't see anything that, you know, it was structured around a size, you know, it just said a project. So we understand, you know, you come in and now if we got more work in Erie, you know, that'd be wonderful. But at this time, we're not really sure if that's the case. So it seemed to be a good fit for us. It's you guys decide if it's a good fit for you.
But I think TJ, this is Mike, what you're trying to say is everybody on that job site's got to have a city journeyman or apprentice card.
correct.
And I don't know, that would be everybody. So everybody that you would have to hire would have to come from within the Erie area.
Right, we understand.
Right, which is what I'm saying. This is more like they're asking for reciprocity and not a one-time license.
I would tend to agree with you.
I'm not really sure, you know, I'm just not sure how you're getting that reciprocity yet. This is a one-time project, and if we are, you know, performing for your rules, right, that we need to have these journeymen on the job and these apprentices on the job, or you can't do the job, type of thing. So for me to give you all the names and numbers ahead of time, it'd be a little bit early, but we have no problem providing that to you to get you guys comfortable. Like I said, we have a long list, a lot of tombstones of projects we had to do in a similar format, but we wouldn't be in the hospitality industry.
Do you have an idea of, I mean, have you submitted this to the owner for bid? Is that what you've done already?
Yeah, so right now we're working with the general contractor who's basically started this from pre-construction from before DDs. We were on SDs, and then we went through the DD process. And obviously we're rolling right into the CD process. So we're on track for that, but again, it's not a formal award at this point in time.
Do you expect that to happen in the near future?
Yes, we do expect an award. Obviously, this was kind of one of the things we wanted to do was get in front of you guys and kind of put some cards on the table, at least see where you guys were looking, and obviously there could be some alteration on our path with regards to this outcome. So that was obviously one of the reasons we wanted to get in front of you guys.
Okay.
I would suggest that knowing that if they know our criteria now, and that it's gonna take city individuals with journeyman and apprentice cards, that they should probably wait until they're actually officially awarded the bid. I mean, we meet monthly, so I don't think it would be out of the scope of reality of, us tabling this.
I tend to agree with that. I mean, that would give them time to find out, one, if they are going to be awarded the project, and then two, they can sort out their logistics on how they're going to put licensed people on the project. And to Michael's point, we do meet monthly, so it's not like there's a huge gap and when, every 3 weeks, and then we're back here. So, I mean, are you making a motion, Mr. Collins?
Yes, I would definitely like to make a motion to table this. If they deem it, I mean, they're on the call, so it's not like this is something that I'm asking, without them. Do they agree? The two individuals that are here, do you agree with what I'm saying here?
I mean, I'm not sure what we can agree and disagree. You make the rules. It does for us, put the cart in front of the horse a little bit. We'd love to, we have to enter a bid. We have to be licensed in Erie. And so if we're not licensed, John, you might have different information. I would, be worried about putting that energy forward. I don't know what you think about this. I think it's their decision.
I think
So
one
you
thing
have to be
that
licensed to place the bid, is what you're saying?
No. What he's saying is, is it proper for us to move forward? Obviously, not having a license and not having approval. I kind of get.
I
What if
believe
the
that it's
board, what if the
totally
board
proper.
was this, I'm sorry, what if the board was to say no after we've told them, yeah, we'll be okay as long as we answer to some of this. They make a financial commitment for us to do the project. We begin all our stuff. 3 weeks is a short turnaround as far as getting a response from the board, but 3 weeks is quite a long time in our process, of trying to get things done in a short period of time to get a lot of things answered for our contractor.
Well, that being said, though, it would give you time to line up how you're going to put licensed people on the job. So you can do that work now and then come back when you've been awarded the job or are about to be awarded the job. And then you can come back to the board and ask. I think that makes the most sense to me, because that way we know that you're going to be in compliance with our UCC.
In fairness, guys, how do you get, these gentlemen, tradesmen who may or may not be working now to commit to onboarding with us when we don't even have anything to offer them technically, right? We may not even submit the bid. The board hasn't made a decision. Is there a way to create like a post-op on this where, it's contingent that, we adhere to everything before starting the project for this one-time license versus this is kind of a hodgy-podgy forward motion thing? If you guys say to us, hey, all right, you can have this license, but you're not getting this project unless you demonstrate to us you're gonna do this the way the city of Erie. This allows us to continue our process forward, and he can begin to shift, the bid into them and back to operations. We go out to the labor force and create our plan.
Okay, I understand that, but what happens when you go out to the labor force and you return without anyone with a license, or one person, or an underwhelming amount of licensed people to produce the work for the project?
I mean, that's possible, right? It could be, I don't know what your market is today, right? Or what your market looks like in 6 weeks. I'm not really sure. But I would assume that the board has plans for contractors that don't, have the availability of labor that are licensed, that we're able to take either our licensed journeymen from other areas and apply with them as well, or get, some of our folks licensed through Erie as well.
TJ, this is Abe. Hear me?
Yes, sir.
Do they have a manpower study done to know how many men they're looking for?
Yeah, so it would be around 15 men. And so that would be kind of where we were looking at with regards to what's your what is the requirement of journeymen versus apprentices and
The state,
laborers.
the state standard is 3 to 1.
3 to 1. Okay. So, I mean, it would be great to have 5 journeymen, 10 apprentices.
Opposite. That's
Opposite.
Well, opposite. Okay. Yeah. So 10 journeymen and 5 apprentices.
So are you, this is Christy, are you open
2 to 1.
to subcontracting this job? Because if you subcontract the job, it will be someone who is licensed with the city of Erie. You'll have their master will pull the permit. Their journeymen will oversee the job, and then you can have your guys then get licensed as apprentices to perform the work. Is this something that?
Yeah, I would definitely, and that's a model we do use. It's not our first choice when we work with, it's hospitality has a different type of tempo. Definitely collaborated with local subcontractors before, and unless we're very comfortable that they can perform under the contract just as we would, we'd have to create a model that first we'd want to try our guys, our managers, and push it through. If that doesn't work, then the discussion becomes subcontractors, and it's not even really so much a cost issue. It's, do they understand this industry, this specific type of work with hospitality? And I'm sure you guys know people that do, and we're not contesting that. Yes, we would think about that model if we couldn't make our first one work.
Okay.
You're not going to have any trouble with your managers, I would imagine, but with whoever's installing the work, you're definitely going to have a hurdle there, because the license, you're going to have to, everyone on the job is going to have a license. And as far as the way our UCC is written, we don't have anything written into our code that allows us to, well, it allows us, but we don't accept any reciprocal licenses from other jurisdictions. So you would definitely have to hire, if you got this project, you would have to hire people locally that have the license.
And nobody can submit for apprenticeship applications, and
you could do that.
Right.
You could submit your, but they'd have to be registered under a master license that's active. I'm not sure how that works with the temporary. Christy might know better than me on that.
If they are awarded the one-time license, they're able to get apprentice licenses for their employees.
Okay, so there's your answer there.
Okay, so we'd still, the bulk of the workforce, we'd still have to source. Or I don't know if, is that also the case for journeymen, where you have journeymen that apply for Erie journeymen? If we
They
bought,
have to,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, TJ.
No, go ahead, Christie, you can answer.
That's the only problem. Then that will come into us reciprocating, and we don't do that.
Right, I got you, 'cause
So-
they have to already been under, hypothetically, us, if we had one license for the years they needed to get the journeyman. Or some other contract.
Or it would
Yeah.
have to be another contractor,
Right.
unfortunately, because if we give your journeyman a journeyman license, that will show that we're reciprocating, which we don't do. If we get the apprentice license, that'll be under the master, the one-time master that you'll be obtaining.
Right,
But the only issue is we require a master and or a journeyman on site at all times, as TJ mentioned the ratio. So you would have to, it would be better to look for journeymen maybe, and then just have your guys listed as apprentices.
right.
How far in advance were you planning to put something out soon? Because I see you have your project start date is February of 2025.
Right, that
Yeah,
may
it's-
move a little bit.
That's probably gonna slide.
Okay. Now, were you guys required to do a mock-up room for this project?
Yeah, there will be a model room, correct? Yes.
And you haven't done that yet?
No, we
Okay.
wouldn't do that. Obviously, we wanted to make sure that this was prioritized before we did any work in here.
Okay.
What did we do again with the electrical, Mike? The electrical mock-up, we told them that they couldn't tie it into the, do you remember, Mike or Jim?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I thought
They wouldn't be able to use it as a permanent installation. It would just be considered temporary. And then once it's approved, it would be dismantled.
I think it was
Correct.
suggested,
Jim is correct.
I think it was suggested that they build it off-site.
You may be correct about that. I don't recall.
Our electrical inspector said as long as Jim said, as long as that room is not going to be used after and it's dismantled, it is fine. No license or permit is needed for the model rooms, but like he said, it cannot be used afterwards. Everything has to be ripped out.
Well, in this case, on a plumbing mock-up, why would the fixtures have to be in operation? It's just the aesthetics that they're looking at, not you wouldn't technically have to rough it in and make it work. I don't think how everyone understands how plumbing fixtures function. So the mock-up on the plumbing, I don't see, I mean, they could set the fixtures without roughing it in, and that's how it's going to look. Does that make sense?
And we've done it before, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you rough it in for no reason?
Yeah.
So I don't think a mock-up's really going to be an issue if they have to build a mock-up. Which, quite frankly, if it's just the fixtures being put in place,
Sometimes the
general-
GC will
Yeah.
just take care of that if it's just they're just gluing it onto the wall or whatever they're doing.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
So getting back to it, there was a motion made to table this. It's still on the floor until we get more information about the things that we've asked for. So there's a motion on the floor. Is there any more discussion or?
I guess I have a question. This is Jake Casco. I have a question for Ed. Are you plan on being here full time throughout the duration of the project?
We plan on having a full-time master Erie plumber on this project the entire time, whether it's me or who we've hired to manage the project, but a full-time master Erie, Pennsylvania plumber, just as we do.
Yeah, so I guess Yeah, my question is then why would you need because this application is for you to get a one-time master. Why do you need a one-time master if a local Erie master could pull the permit?
Because I know I'll finish the project.
Okay.
Is there any more
I was going to
discussion?
mention the same thing. I was going to mention the same thing that Jake just said. If there was going to be an Erie master plumber, there's no need for you to apply. So that would be basically subcontracting.
Too much liability, just not having the license in case there's a, the next shiny thing pops up to whoever we've hired, then we're left holding the bag without a master, and that's not a great place to be.
Understandable.
Well, if that were the case and there was an open permit, the board could make a decision to keep the permit open, correct, Christy?
The permit goes with the master who pulled it. So if the master walks they can take the permit with them.
Okay, but in that instance, the board could do a one-time approval.
For Ed?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? There's a motion still on the floor.
TJ, this is Abe.
Yeah.
This is strictly for plumber. There is no HVAC, no, nothing else tied with this permit, is there?
No.
No, just plumbing.
Just plumbing.
Yes, sir.
I would make a motion I would second the motion that's on the floor to table this for a month until we could possibly get our heads wrapped around a little bit better. There's a lot of work involved. This is possibly a 2-year project.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, well, there's a second on the motion. Is there any questions on the motion? Any questions?
So, real quick, if let's just say hypothetically, we have a resolve of what we want to do. Is it we have to wait the 30 days for the next meeting, or is there a way that we could possibly have a meeting sooner?
I don't think that there's a way to do it sooner because we're a public entity and it has to be advertised publicly that we're meeting. Otherwise,
Gotcha.
we're in violation of the Sunshine Act of Pennsylvania.
Is it the
Understood.
board's intent to give us a clear, direction or reason or something that we can work upon in writing saying, okay, you guys, this is what we need specifically from you, not just the conversation, but this is what we need from you to be considered the next board meeting. This way we can work right through, whatever it is you need and stay focused on that. Cause I'm still kind of not really sure what you're asking of us since it's kind of like we're getting in a round robin thing here as we discuss whether is the board specifically asking us to show us who's being hired, or how many are being hired, or how you're hiring them? Like, are you going to come back to us with something in writing saying, please guys, you just tell us how you're going to achieve this before we can consider to move forward with you guys?
I mean, basically, that's what we're asking you. We're asking you how you intend on putting licensed plumbers on the job. That's what we're asking you. Because at this point, you're asking for a master's license and you're not showing us any way you're going to have journeymen working on the job in accordance with our code. So that's what we're asking you for.
Well, I mean, I did respond. I did say, we need to have a job to hire somebody. If we don't have a job, how do I go around and ask people if they want a job? And so our response to that question is we're going to hire them locally.
Right. And we're asking you to give us information about that. You could provide us a list, which of course we wouldn't share with the public. We can look at that list and make sure it's they're actual licensed people that you're going to have on the project. It's not a problem.
If I can get them to agree, it's a bit nebulous. I'm asking them to come maybe work for us. So I could be putting a list of names in front of you, that just might look completely different as long as we all understand that might look different at time of the job start. But I feel like so long as we're staying within the rules, right? I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to think through like how do I get people to agree to come work for us when I don't have the job yet?
Right, and again, if you hire the master first, you're out of the weeds. Because if you get a master to agree to work for you, one person, then that master can file the permit for you. At that point, you can hire who you need to hire with a license and you're in compliance with the law.
Right, so long as we still get the one-time permit, as I said, we'll be owning all the liability, but we don't have no control over the labor force.
Right, well, like I said, if you hire the master out of the gate,
Yes, sir.
you're in compliance. All you have to do then is hire, if you get the project, you hire journeymen to install the work.
If you
So-
bring a master under your employ, not a subcontractor. If you bring a master in, if you're able to hire a master under your employ, not subcontracting like we were talking before, then you can hire journeyman, City of Erie licensed journeyman, because we don't reciprocate licenses.
Right.
So that's the rub is I think that we've been talking about bringing in journeymen, but the journeymen have to be City of Erie licensed journeymen.
So local 27, which I think is like the local down there, and it was outside of Pittsburgh.
Correct.
Are they affiliated with anyone in Erie, or is there Erie licensed plumbers out of locals 27?
Yes, local 27 jurisdiction covers Erie.
I don't know. And I think maybe we'll just we'll go along with the table. We'll have a conversation with obviously the GC too as well, and then we'll pick each other's brains. And it's December 3rd, so I would assume the next meeting is January 6th or 7th, January 7th-ish.
January 7th.
That is correct.
January 7th.
Man, I wasn't fighting the tail. I'm just trying to get my head around.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I
if
think
there's a hole to go to, that's fine. I'm a union man, so if that's how we can get make sense to the board, how we're going to get access to the labor force, that's fine.
Yeah.
Is there any more discussion? There's a motion made and seconded to table this till January's meeting. Is there any more discussion? Being that there's none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? This motion tables it until the next monthly meeting, excuse me, which will be January 7th at 1 p.m. Hopefully weather cooperates and we can actually have it at City Hall. I don't think there's anything else under new business. So if there is no new business, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Hey, before we adjourn, DJ, there was another application that came through with the agenda for Seth Harrelson.
That was last month, Todd.
All right, thanks.
Okay, there's a motion made and I didn't hear the second. It was made by Mr. Panitsky.
I'll second it, Mike.
Okay, Mike Ziwi seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you in January.
All right.
See you
Yeah.
January.
Appreciate it.
Later, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.